Hello friends, welcome back to This is the Police. Golden Bird would like to report that a segregationist teacher has been promoted to dean. Street racers stage accident in city centre. That could mean something for me, I guess. There might be something happening at the start of the day today. Dressed in blood film banned in local theatres for excessive cruelty. Diddums. Robespierre's note. Hasn't changed in about 4 days, sadly.
Yeah, a box of Caesars.
With that outfit, I could see you coming a mile away, Mr. Boyd.
Ah, Mr. Chaffee. Knowing your love of theatrics, I was afraid you'd keep the mystery surrounding the dentist going for at least another day or two.
What could you mean, Mr. Boyd? Well, it's true. Robespierre does have a passion for mystery and the dramatic. But there's no need to confuse the actor with his character. For you, I'll play the hurried businessman who likes to cut to the chase. That's not quite me either, but though this mask I wear is quite a burden, I have long grown used to it. Besides, I don't want to distract you from your 180-day quest, not for a second longer than necessary. My, is half your time already up?
No, by the way.
You simply cannot imagine, Mr. Boyd, the painstaking work I've done to cultivate this maniac image. I turn to such literature the likes of which I wish I never knew. If our law enforcement agencies possessed even the slightest aesthetic sense, they would have instantly seen the game for what it was. And the postcards. What can I say?
And if the real dentist turned up again at the wrong moment? I don't imagine lunatics take kindly to imposters.
The dentist died of a heart attack last spring while he was sunbathing on the beach. I discovered this quite by accident. From a university friend, a therapist. It was he who convinced the dentist to stop killing, by the way.
Why the murders? Obviously they'd all been raped by Rogers. It would have been much easier to just get them to talk.
Mr. Boyd, the last thing I want is to appear a brutish butcher. I spent enough time on these women to know they were no use to me alive. Not sure if I should be ashamed to say it, but Stuart Rogers far surpasses me in his ability to intimidate people. Apparently, such things only come with experience. But murder? For that I truly do feel ashamed. It's a burden I shall have to bear for the rest of my days. But sadly, it's not my greatest shame.
What could be more shameful? To frame an innocent woman for such terrible crimes?
What? Are you unhappy with a woman cast as the serial killer? Firstly, I'd say Dear Jordan adds a certain grace to the whole sordid story. And second, of all the people I hold in my debt, she's the strongest. And not just physically. Third, she had good reason to settle her debt with me as quickly as possible. Without going into details, I'll just say that she's a very, very caring mother. Do these taste good? Had we met earlier, Mr. Boyd, I would have shown you a far more refined pleasure, one without such an unpleasant smell.
I'm afraid to even imagine what you count as pleasures, Mr. Chaffee. Fountains of blood in the city square?
Mr. Boyd, you're not listening to me at all. I didn't take any enjoyment from the killings. Everything I've done was of strict necessity. I couldn't make Jordan kill all the women that Rogers raped. That would have been excessive. If I had made her kill them all, you'd be rather upset, no?
I can't say I fully understand your plan, Mr. Chaffee, but you've given me more than enough reasons to arrest you.
Yes, but allow me to counter them with one good reason not to. I think you mentioned you dined here once?
Yes, not the best restaurant in town.
And maybe you're just not familiar with the full range of our services. When I inherited this tasteless place from my father, I knew I could never make it into an exquisite restaurant. Instead, I accentuated the atrocity of it all, an aesthetic of a different kind. Now I even live here. To me, this complex is like a microcosm of Freiburg. But we're not here to talk about that. At school, I read a French novel whose name doesn't need mentioning, and I read many amazing things. It seems that in Paris, just before the Revolution, certain places were quite popular. People of wealth and taste visited from the city, shed their luxurious coats, peeled off their white gloves, and with the help of the local farmer, they brutally stabbed a hole in a bull and decorated themselves with the splattering blood as they prepared a large piece of meat for the fire. In the bull's suffering, these effeminate aristocrats found a perverse sort of pleasure. Now I make these pleasures available to the people of Freiburg. I will be honest with you. People who pursue such cruelty truly are crazy. But what is interesting? The best steaks are cut from the tender meat of young bulls. 11 months is just right. Beautiful, healthy, full of strength. But these wealthy degenerates who pay $7,000, so our experts will show them where to plunge the blade for maximum effect. Even they don't have the spirit to slaughter the young bull. The thought never enters their minds. They look into the eyes of the healthy animal, bursting with energy, and they quickly shuffle past. As if by instinct, they are drawn to the old, weary, fading bulls. And then, with terrible smiles on their faces, they chew through tough steaks that taste of burning rubber. They feel that they're doing something real with their own hands, a sort of natural selection, as if they're agents in the natural process. But nature also teaches us that the old beast, unable to fend off any threat, might yet survive if it cowers in a dark corner and pretends it doesn't exist. Then, perhaps, the young predator will pass. Mr. Scott will drive you back. I'm late for an appointment.
Mr. Boyd, you won't believe it, but the
Then, perhaps, the young predator will pass. Mr. Scott will drive you back. I'm late for an appointment.
That was just a quick jump to get back to vaguely in sync.
Mr.
Subtitle.
Boyd, you won't believe it, but the person I just got off the phone with was talking about you.
Seems like I'm pretty popular these days.
Lana?
By the way, Mr. Boyd, I've got to ask, why $500,000?
Go fuck yourself, Troy Starr.
Yeah! Oh, press conference. Okay. That was a very long cutscene. It was almost like 10 minutes. Good morning. Mr. Boyd, a maniac terrorized the city for 2 weeks and you did nothing. What would have happened to Freiburg if federal agents hadn't come to the rescue and arrested the dentist? You don't know anything. Your question is offensive to the families of the FPD detectives who were killed while tracking the dentist's trail. It's true. The city overflowed with panic after your press conference about the dentist. Why didn't you think more carefully about what you were going to say? Panic was inevitable. When there's a serial killer walking the streets, it's natural to flinch every rustle. After such a failure, any self-respecting office holder would resign. What are your plans? I'm not going anywhere. I'll keep fighting crime. Freeburg needs me. Freeburg needs me. I have a duty to the people of this city, and I will not betray their trust. How do you comment on rumours about the relationship between Mayor Rogers and all 5 of the dentist's Freeburg victims? Complete nonsense. I'm concerned. No comment. I have nothing to say. Thank you. Fuck you. So that was day 81. Police chief mourns officers lost in pursuit of dentist. Jackpot. Panic is normal. Famous DJs play Roof of Atticus Tower. Fuck off. We still have Vandal and Jorgensen held back. I've no idea what's actually happening with that guy who wanted 2 dead, potentially gay cops. Take a walk, Walter Flores. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that since the request. Who knows what's happening? The dentist is behind bars. Great job. $87,500. Is he though? Income from the grave. Vandal 250. Jorgensen 200. Let's share it around. $2,339 salary. It's almost twice what we started with. We can hire a police officer. Okay, good. We have one. We have Tommy Everts. Not sure if male or female. Hire for shift A. And we'll take Edward Vasilev and Mike Quatch for shift B. There we go. We can hire one more detective as well. There really aren't any detectives worth having at the moment. And we actually do get a raise. We're on 2,573 per week now. And 4,700 from the Mafia, which we'll share. Breaking and entering in the suburbs. Hello, is this police? It's Dolores Parks. Someone is in my house. I hear footsteps coming from downstairs. My husband is on a business trip and won't be home for another hour. Please come right now. I know it must be some terrorist who's going to rob and rape me. I've locked myself in my room, but a door won't stop this beast. It's your fucking husband! Jesus! Gorshkov, Robbins, Dowell. Go punch that woman in the face. or don't. Like, your choice. Unlawful assembly at City Hall. A crowd has gathered on the steps of City Hall, demanding that city officials legalise euthanasia. The protesters are chanting, "My life, my death, my choice." City Hall employees report that the people brought homemade signs and the protest is proceeding peacefully. Well, I guarantee you they weren't told to say that by the fucking mayor. We'll give you Murata, Kubilius and Sanu. And a paddy wagon just in case things go south. There's a Suspicious individual in the library. We have a report on the breaking and entering. It was her husband after all. Librarian Rolando Boone reported that a young man came in looking for books on chemistry and monographs on explosive substances, and publications on extremist topics. Many of the books he requested are prohibited. The guy looked scary. His eyes made my blood run cold. That's almost certainly nothing, but it's worth checking out all the same, and we only have our top 3. Unlawful assembly, we have a report on that. We've taken someone in at least. Yeah, okay. I think you guys are just trying to boost your stats a little bit. As soon as the suspect sees the police, he pulls a huge knife from his bag and rushes without the E towards the librarian, shouting, "You called the pigs?" Shoot the suspect. Stop yelling, it's a library. Attack him with a nightstick. Attack him with a nightstick. We've saved the day. Chief Boyd, I represent the interests of a private military corporation, which is hoping to attract a significant investment from your city. We are preparing an investor presentation, and we'd like to demonstrate the inadequacy of police training in matters of public safety. Please understand, this is just business, and we can all win here. Give us a couple of hours with your weakest and laziest guys, and my kids will look like gladiators next to them. I promise you, the company will remain in your debt. Right. Take Dowell and Robbins. I get the feeling at least one of them is about to die or quit. But they're almost expendable at this point in time, so we'll see what happens. Suspicious individual, Desire Park. Parishioner Mana Bush, while she was on her way to church, encountered a group of incredibly strange teenagers. They were running around in weird costumes, fighting with sticks and talking like robots. Maybe these crazy kids escaped from a mental hospital. Better catch them and send them back. Or, you know, maybe they're children. Maybe they are cosplaying. Gorshkov and Sanu. Go deal with the nothing. Right, Dowell or Robbins, who's gonna die? My money is on Dowell. Dowell will die, Robbins will quit. Oh. Boss, these guys are like machines. They walked all over us, but we learned a lot. 20 minutes with these guys is better than a whole year at the academy. Mr. Cottrell says he was very pleased with our performance and offered us free training at their training complex. What do you think? They both got 20 points. Do you want to send Dowell and Robbins to the course? Sure, and we got $5,000. The members of the Sci-Fi Club were just having fun at the park. I feel like that was a pretty big risk. I wasn't going to do it. But that's paid off fucking tenfold. Gladys Shell was enraged about some comment that her colleague Matthew Tolan made, so she grabbed a stapler and began to beat him over the head with it. Then Mrs. Shell yelled loudly and lashed out at the secretary. "She's having a nervous breakdown. Please hurry," said the suspect's boss, who phoned the incident in. I do apologise. Pongdana, Murata, and you can take Gorshkov with you. And Sanu as well, why not? And a SWAT team. I'll have everyone. Drug trafficking. An anonymous tip just came in. A large shipment of Colombian coffee is being unloaded, and they're shipping heroin inside the bags of beans. There are only a few guards watching them unload the shipment, so if the police roll up, they might just give up without a fight. They probably won't, but when they see Ozaki, Tsubaki and Kubilius coming at them, they'll quickly realise they are up shit creek. Also, I might be up shit creek here, because there is no way I'm getting police officers back in the next 12 seconds. I've sent everyone out on jobs. Damn it, Dowell and Robbins, you weren't expendable after all, I'm so sorry. The woman grabbed a second stapler. In her hands, these staplers look like deadly weapons. Look into her bloodshot eyes and try to calm her down. Grab the woman's hands, deal the woman a solid blow to the jaw. Let's calm her down. Easy. Drug trafficking is more serious than they thought. Oh no. Right, you're fine. You've got this. You've got this, guys. I believe in you. Offender escaped. Civilian killed. We found cocaine, and no officers were harmed. So that was a loss. However, ooh, the one we missed was a false alarm. Cornelia Davis was quarrelling with the mother of a little boy who climbed into the ferry. Excuse me! Sneezed and took out a few coins. I made that wish and your little bastard stole it. Gosh, I apologise. That could not have sounded very nice. In fact, you could almost say that was unsavoury at best. Noise complaint in the suburbs. A respectable sounding man with a sleepy voice called in, complaining that fireworks were being set off right in front of his house. They look like bums, but they have huge bags filled with all sorts of firecrackers. We're just waiting on officers coming back. So we're going to give you Pongdana and Sanu, the noise complaint in the suburbs. We have destruction of property on a farm. Patricia Buckler says 10 or so people came onto her farm with some strange equipment. They wandered around with their gear for a while, then stopped and began to dig a huge pit. Her husband didn't approve of people rummaging around on his property, but his attempt to investigate ended in a fight, and the farmer was badly beaten. Team Asia with Kubilius and Gorshkov. We'll just send everyone out. We're getting towards the end of the day, so any calls that come in we'll hopefully be able to fend off for just about long enough. I still get a feeling Dowell or Robbins may die while they're away getting training. Noise complaint in the suburb. There are 3 drunk men on the street lighting fireworks and throwing them around. When they see the police, one of them pulls out a firework that looks a lot like dynamite and sets fire to the fuse. Cool firecracker, I've never seen one of those before. Aim at the man with a taser. Dive at the man and try to grab the explosive from his hands. Let's tase him. The man throws the explosive to one of his friends. The wick has burned halfway down. Taser the man with the explosive and quickly extinguish the fuse. Lie down on the ground and hold your head. Run away from the men. Taser again. We're tasering everyone. Pongdana and Sanu. Heroes. And we caught the 10 or so guys on the farm, despite not having a paddy wagon. And that will be the end of day 82. So Dowell and Robbins are off getting trained. I have a strange feeling about that. I don't know. I don't feel happy there. I'm considering a reworking of the staff. Because right now, Shift B has 9 officers. Shift A has 13. We're gonna give Shift B... We can't do it from here. I'm gonna do that at the start of the next episode. So until then, thank you very much for watching, friends. I'll see you next time for day 83 and 84.